Hi General Math students. In this video we're going to obtain a linear regression using the calculator. The calculator that we're going to be looking at here is the TI Inspire, but of course you can use a Casio ClassPad or any calculator that has the linear regression function. Your regular Casio scientific calculator like this one is not going to do the job. You're going to need your TI Inspire or something like that. Now, we're going to be looking at this soft drink data that you're working with in previous videos, and so what this is showing is a relationship of increasing temperature leading to increasing number of cans being sold. So I've gone and put that data into the TI Inspire. So I was at this point here using the green button and then entering into these two lists. So you might want to pause the video at this stage and go and enter that data into the lists in your calculator, and then we'll pick up where we left off. Okay, so I'm expecting that you've entered the data by now. Make sure you check that data carefully, make sure you've got all the right numbers and that sort of thing. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top of this list here, and we're going to put a letter, and this was temperature, so I'm just going to put T for temperature. Those are the temperatures, and I'll enter that, and then I'm going to go up to this one, and this was cans sold, so I'll put a C for cans. It doesn't matter really what letters you put, so just as long as you can remember what they are. What you might find is if you've saved another document and you've already used those letters, the calculator will think you want to bring that data back in. So just make sure you're using letters that haven't been used somewhere else in the calculator's memory. Right, so now we're going to go Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations, and Linear Regression. Okay, so if we were going to do that, we could go Menu and then tap number 4 for Statistics, number 1 for Stat Calculations, and number 3 for linear regression. So we're going to go, there are two types of linear regression. We go with the one at number 3, not number 4. Okay, so here we're going to tell the calculator that the X list data was the T for temperature, and the Y list data was the C for the number of cans sold. We don't need to do anything else with any of these other entries. So we say OK, and here's the information. Now, in this screen, we don't get given the actual equation, but we get given the numbers that can tell us the equation. So we're looking here, that M value, this is our gradient, and that B value there is the y-intercept. Okay, so let's just minimize this, and I'm going to write that down. So I'll just go to, say, 2 decimal places here, so 4.17. Okay, so my gradient, I'm going to use the letter A because that's what we normally use. A equals 4.17, and the y-intercept B was 17. Okay, so I'm going to use that to write down the equation. Okay, so normally the equation would look like this. Y equals 4.17x plus 17. But we're using daily temperature, which is a T, and number of cans sold, C for cans. So I'll replace Y and X with those letters. You must remember to do that if letters are given. So that means that C equals 4.17 times T plus 17. And there's our linear regression. So that's the equation of the perfect line of best fit for this data. Now, there is another way I want to show you really quickly. I'm going to go out to the home screen and then go into this pink button for the graphs or scatter plot stuff. So we've done this before. We're going to hover down here and we're going to go T on the x-axis and C on the y-axis there. And we're going to ask for a linear regression here. So I'm going to go Menu, and then I'm going to go for number 4, which is Analyze. 4. Oops, go back in there. 4, and see how regression is here as well. And we'll go show linear, it's number 1 this time. Now if we do it here, it actually writes the equation down for us. We don't have to plug the values in like I did before. But you know, both screens have their advantages and disadvantages. This one you get the equation written down for you, but in the other screen is a lot more information, such as the coefficient of determination, which we will talk about in a later video, and the correlation coefficient, the R value, which we talked about in a previous video. So that's why we still need this screen. Okay, so go ahead and check the description for the video and do some linear regressions.